stop checking your bank statement and wondering where you went wrong. You didn't. You're simply living through a systemic wealth transfer designed to extract your energy and call it corporate efficiency. You aren't falling behind because you're lazy. You're falling behind because the American dream was quietly auctioned off to the highest bidder while you were busy working 50 hours a week. You are not failing the system. The system was redesigned to fail you. You are being gaslit by an economy that prizes stock buybacks over your stability. You open the news, and economists in tailored suits confidently pat themselves on the back, declaring inflation is under control. The GDP is climbing. Corporate profits are through the roof. Yet you feel a deep, heavy exhaustion that caffeine can no longer fix. What you are feeling in your bones is the shockwave of a silent, highly calculated job purge. While the media celebrates corporate growth, the reality on the ground is a 332% spike in layoffs tied directly to artificial intelligence. Tens of thousands of jobs are vanishing overnight, quietly swept under the rug, with polite corporate buzzwords like restructuring, optimizing, and streamlining. It is a fundamental, ruthless shift, driven by shareholder primacy. It is an uncompromising devotion to stock prices above human stability. Let's look at the actual price tag of the American dream today. Take someone making what we used to call a comfortable living, only to realize that comfortable now barely covers the cost of survival. 10 or 15 years ago, that income meant a house, a nice vacation, and putting money away for the future. Today, it is a mathematical tightrope. Your mortgage swallows your first 2 weeks of labor. Your car and groceries vanish the third. By the time the dust settles, you're essentially working the rest of the month for free. What is left? Almost nothing. You are surviving, but you are not advancing. Traditional financial gurus love to point the finger at you. They look you in the eye and tell you that you are broke because you bought a $6 latte or ordered DoorDash on a Friday night. That is absolute nonsense. You are not struggling because of a cup of coffee. You are struggling because the cost of living has wildly outpaced the value of your labor. Those small purchases you make are not financial failures. They are dopamine traps. Silicon Valley has spent billions of dollars engineering algorithms to sell you tiny, frictionless moments of comfort because they know exactly how exhausted you are. The modern burnout economy relies on your fatigue. When you are completely drained from navigating corporate politics, surviving endless Zoom calls, and carrying the weight of a heavy workload, you simply do not have the physical energy left to cook a healthy meal. You buy convenience. You buy a momentary fleeting escape from the stress. The system actually needs you to remain tired, because a tired person consumes predictably and emotionally. The daily fatigue is only half of the story. The other half is what happens when you step back into the corporate arena. Look at the recent data from Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, and a truly chilling pattern emerges. The people getting hit the hardest by these quiet layoffs are not the new graduates. It is the 35 to 45-year-old professionals, the middle managers, the people with 10 to 15 years of loyal, dedicated experience. Why are they the targets? The rules of the corporate game have been rewritten without your permission. In the past, your accumulated experience was your greatest asset. It was what made you valuable. Today, algorithmic management and corporate balance sheets view your 15 years of experience and the respectable salary that comes with it as a high-cost liability. Corporations are not laying people off because they are going bankrupt. They are laying people off while simultaneously pulling in record-breaking profits. Artificial intelligence provides a convenient, unsocially acceptable excuse to slash the payroll. AI acts as a moral shield for executives. They stand in front of the board and say they are modernizing and embracing the future, when what they are really doing is executing a massive, unprecedented wealth transfer. Every single dollar cut from a middle manager's salary is a dollar seamlessly redirected into dividends and stock buybacks for shareholders. We are quietly entering the era of the humanless economy. The invisible architecture of the corporate world is being redesigned to operate with as few breathing, sleeping, expensive human beings as mathematically possible. The old comforting myth of corporate loyalty, the idea that if you work hard, sacrifice your weekends, and give them your best years, the company will take care of you, is entirely dead. No, it has been replaced by a cold spreadsheet that does not know your name and does not care about your mortgage. Hearing this might make you feel angry or perhaps entirely powerless. But here is where we draw a philosophical line in the sand. Yes, you were born into a financial system that operates very much like a rigged casino. You did not write the rules, and it is absolutely not your fault that the table is tilted in favor of the house. However, deciding whether to keep playing blindly by the house's rules is entirely your responsibility. Once you see the cold reality for what it is, you have a choice. You can remain a victim of the system, or you can step back, assess the board, and start playing defense. We have to completely redefine what money actually means to you. True savings is not about miserable frugality. It is not about hoarding pennies and depriving yourself of every joy in life. Every single dollar you keep is a brick in your personal financial fortress. When you choose to save and invest, you are not just accumulating paper. You are actively buying back your life energy. You are unlocking the golden handcuffs. You are purchasing the most profound, beautiful privilege in the modern world: the power to say no. A healthy, growing bank account is the ultimate defense mechanism against a toxic boss, an unreasonable deadline, or a sudden terrifying layoff email at 2 in the morning. Money is your personal runway, and building it is an act of rebellion. How do we survive and thrive in a machine designed to extract our energy? We build a clear defensive strategy. We start with your career positioning. Job postings requiring AI skills have skyrocketed by 400%. The secret to surviving is not just learning how to type a prompt into a chatbot. The people who will lose their livelihoods are the executioners, the ones doing the repetitive, manual, predictable tasks that AI can easily mimic. To survive, you must pivot from being an executioner to being an orchestrator. An orchestrator does not write the basic code or draft the standard weekly reports. An orchestrator understands the big picture. They connect the dots, manage the AI tools, and handle the complex, nuanced human relationships that machines simply cannot replicate. You have to step off the predictable assembly line and position yourself inside the control room. Let the machines do the heavy lifting while you direct the flow. But that career pivot is incomplete without a fundamental upgrade to your liquidity. For decades, traditional financial advisors told us to keep a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. That advice is dangerously outdated. In an economy where middle management hiring can completely freeze for quarters at a time, 6 months of cash is barely a blink. You need to steadily, quietly, and patiently build a 12-month liquidity shield. This is not just an emergency fund. This is oxygen. When the unexpected happens, and it will happen, a 12-month reserve ensures you do not have to panic. It ensures you do not have to accept the very first toxic, underpaying job offer that comes your way just out of sheer desperation to pay the rent. It gives you the breathing room to think, to recalibrate, and to choose your next move entirely on your own terms. Building this shield takes time. It requires the unglamorous, steady magic of patience and compound interest. It does not happen overnight, and there are no shortcuts. It is real, lasting protection. AI isn't the villain of this story. It's the weapon. And if you don't want to be the target, you have to change how you occupy the battlefield. You do not have to be a casualty of their system. The people who survive and prosper in this new decade will not necessarily be the ones who hustle the hardest or burn the midnight oil. They will be the ones who understand exactly how the game is played. They will be the ones who step back and build their own invisible architecture of defensive wealth. You deserve to buy back your time. You deserve to step off the exhausting treadmill they put you on. If you want to keep unraveling the truth behind the numbers, and if you are ready to build the systemic wealth that truly sets you free, hit that subscribe button. Let's master this game together. Protect what is ours, and build a reality where we hold the cards.